stick around, and we will be live here very, very shortly within the next 5 to 7 minutes. So make sure you stick around out there on YouTube and Facebook, and we will be right back with some action-packed racing here with RSR Cup Series here tonight at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. So stay tuned for all the action. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be live here within 3 minutes. We are going into the new session and getting all the data and everything put up for us to go live. So please stand by, and we will be live very, very shortly here. And let's enjoy tonight's race. And don't forget to share this to your friends, families, and loved ones out there. And watch your favorite driver out there tonight here with the RSR Cup Series here at Evolution Racing League. All right, well, we'll catch you here very shortly with Zach Hall and Brandon in the booth. But stay tuned, and we'll catch you in a short bit.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Freaky Fast Broadcasting as we have the RSR Cup Series here tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I'm Zach Hall up in the booth. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here tonight as it's going to be another amazing round here of the RSR Cup Series at Las Vegas. And I tell you what, it's been so special throughout these first few races here. We're excited to get another one in the books here. But before we can get into what's going on here this evening at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, we need to give a shout out to the people that make it happen here at Freaky Fast and the Evolution Racing Leagues. So we want to make sure to give a special shout out to Or Nissan Central, the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. Make sure you go to www.ornissancentral to check out what they have in store for you there, as they are a sponsor here at the Evolution Racing Leagues. We also have Sheffield Graphics. Remember that Sheffield Graphics is the leading designer in sim racing paint schemes and liveries. It was founded by a Navy veteran, and a portion of every paint goes to the Military Foundation Folds of Honor. It's a great nonprofit organization who gives sponsorship to the families of fallen soldiers and disabled veterans. So make sure to go check them out on Facebook under Sheffield Graphics. Get some nice paint schemes done for yourself there. So shout out to Sheffield Graphics here for sponsoring the Evolution Racing Leagues. Also have ButtKicker. Feel what you have been missing. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car, from ambient and environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly synced with every game with no additional software required. So you can go to buttkicker.com and use FreakyFast20 to get 20% off on any purchase on the website. So make sure to go check out ButtKicker and feel what you've been missing. You can check out the Freaky Fast Broadcasting Facebook page, and you can enter a giveaway here for a LFE ButtKicker system. So you can win you some prizes here at Freaky Fast Broadcast. So make sure you go on our Facebook page and check them out so you can feel what you've been missing here from ButtKicker. But that is our wonderful sponsors here tonight at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Evolution Racing Leagues and the RSR Cup Series. We got Brandon Colley up in the booth here alongside me, calling all the shots with Robert Moyer running the cameras in the background. We got a special event here to go on tonight as we're in qualifying with about 4 minutes left. Brandon, what can we expect to see tonight here from Las Vegas?
Well, I expect to see a lot of multi-groove racing, a lot of varying strategies here. Not so much with the fuel, as the league runs 100% fuel for this last week here. They're going to be changing it down to 60% or less for the next couple races here, and man, I'm excited for it. These cars run really well side by side. We're going to see a lot of pack racing, especially on the restarts, and as the run goes on, being able to adjust your line to make use of the way your car is handling. It's where you're going to find the speed, and you're going to be able to break away once the run transitions from the mid run to the long run.
Yes, it should be very interesting racing all night tonight. But we've had some interesting racing up to this point in our first three races, so we can go ahead and pull up our point standings here to let you see where your favorite drivers stand after our first three rounds of the RSR Cup Series for 2021. And there they are. The points are up on the board. Cody McCauley there from the Elite Racing Group leading the points coming into Las Vegas here tonight, followed by Travis Everett, who I can report on will be missing tonight's race, and he is being filled in by Matt Upbrook. So Matt Upbrook will be filling in that car for Travis Everett, as he will not be able to make it here tonight. And we also have a newcomer, Zach Sandlin, moving up to the Cup Series for Clutch Motorsports. So those are two new drivers coming in. But back to the points, our third place man is Dylan Reed from Golden Motorsports, or actually he is in the Elite Racing Group, I believe, for tonight. So you got Trevor Massetti here in the fourth place in points in that 88 machine for Clutch Motorsports. Curtis Preston there from Slide Job Racing coming in the fifth position, last season's defending champion. Nathan Campbell is going to be in sixth here in tonight. GT Irizarry seventh. Eighth is going to be John Willett. Kevin Giadricic will be the ninth place driver in points. In 10th, you have Randy Cornwell. 11th is Kevin Ruff. 12th, Ryan Bean. 13th, Brock Potter. 14th, Adam Buzzio. 15th, Alex Rudolph. In 16th, you have Casey Kuntz. 17th is going to be Craig A. Burns, first driver out of that playoff 16. 18th is Matthew Rush. 19th, James Courtrone. 20th, Michael Sheffield. 21st, Harold Watkins. 22nd, Kip Easley. 23rd, Anthony Younes. 24th, Kevin Zablodale. 25th, Andrew Little. 26th, Kevin Sabilla. Mike Martino in the 27th spot. 28th, Nolan Potter. And that is our points here at the RSR Cup Series. As it's been a fantastic start to the season here for these gentlemen. It's been a fantastic 3 weeks. We're about to get to our 4th round now. Looks like qualifying is definitely nearing the end, as right now Andrew Little sitting on top of the board with about a minute left here, Brandon. Can Andrew Little be our Sheffield Graphics pole winner here tonight?
I believe that he will, as it looks here. I think the only one who's not taken a time is Kevin Zabladil, but he has not moved in quite a while. But it says he's on lap 2, so maybe he had to reset here and just has elected not to go. So I think the qualifying order's pretty set right now, Zach, and it looks like Andrew Little is going to dethrone the qualifying king that is Cody McCauley.
That he is. Andrew Little sitting on top of the board. We've seen Andrew Little have bright spots in the playoffs last season, and just times where he, got stage points when, everybody else was giving him up. He was really working that strategy, and I loved what he was doing last season. Has had a little bit of a rough start to this season, as entering tonight, he's all the way back, I believe, in the 25th position. So if he's going to get back in the playoffs, he's got a lot of work to do. Long season, but still a lot of work to do, and you can't let it pile up here in the early season.
Absolutely not. And starting on pole, it's setting yourself up for a pretty good opportunity to gain a lot of points tonight.
As the Bet It All in Vegas for 133 is here tonight. We have 133 laps and 2 stages at lap 35 and 70. And this is our starting order, as Andrew Little is our Sheffield Graphics pole winner. Second's going to go to Cody McCauley in that 62 machine. Third's going to go to John Willett. 4th is Trevor Massetti. 5th, Dylan Reed. 6th position is going to be Curtis Preston. 7th is going to be Nolan Potter. Followed in 8th will be Tony Ludy. 9th is Kevin Ruff. 10th, Dustin Stallings. 11th is going to be Harold Watkins. 12th is Kevin Giadrsis. 13th, Nathan Campbell. 14th, Chad Biesinger. 15th, Ryan Bean. 16th position will go to Zach Strittenthal. 17th is Rusty Modesty. 18th, Matthew Rush. 19th, James Corthrone. 20th, Brock Potter. 21st going to be Casey Kuntz. 22nd, Michael Sheffield. 23rd, J.R. Miller. 24th is Craig A. Burns. 25th, Daniel Gonzalez. 26th, GT Irizarry. 27th, Adam Buzzio. 28th, Kevin Sabilla. 29th, Alex Rudolph. 30th is Kip Easley. 31st, Anthony Younes. 32nd, Marc-Andre Thibodeau. 33rd, Bob Fitzpatrick. 34th, Matt Upbrook. 35th, David Hall. 36th, Zach Sandlin. Ryan Ezel. 37th, Scott Taylor. 38th, 39th is Kevin Zabladil, and rounding out your field in the 40th position will be Michael Martino. As that is your starting grid here tonight for the RSR Cup Series, as Andrew Little will bring home that Sheffield Graphics Pole Award from Jetsman Racing, and we'll move him on down here to see what his thoughts are on getting that pole here tonight to talk to Brandon.
Andrew, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, buddy.
Well, man, first of all, I got to say congratulations on dethroning Cody McCauley to bring home the Sheffield Graphics Pole Award for tonight, man. Yeah, I heard you saying, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then, but it's a good nut to find, so I'm sure you'll be happy with it. How are you feeling about this race tonight, man? We've noted that Monday and the ARCA race, we had a pole sitter win the race, so you think you can continue that trend tonight?
Ooh, I sure hope so. I was thinking it was a blind luck that I got the pole, but I am wearing a lucky pair of wool socks, so maybe that's the key. That could be it.
Well, Andrew, hopefully the wool guides you well, and we can talk to you for some stage wins here, and maybe even bring home the checkered flag at the end of this thing.
10-4, thanks, buddy. You guys have a good broadcast, and let's hopefully we have a nice, long green flag run.
All right, good luck, bud.
All right, you heard it there. We've got the lucky wool socks on, Brandon. So I expect a lot out of this 68 tonight. Wool brings a lot of good energy when you got the right set of wool.
Yeah, but the wool changed everything. There's crazy expectations now.
It's win or go home tonight. So wool socks, those are definitely going to be the big topic as we get back into some later stuff here tonight. But man, great qualifying job by him. You can hear definitely excited to start on that pole position and see if this can be a good start to get his season back in the right momentum It's going to be a fantastic night. 40 cars here at the RSR Cup Series. Thank you all for tuning in to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's about to get wild here as the pace car is going to pull in. And we have 133 laps of wild action here at the RSR Cup Series as Andrew Little will take the green flag. There it is, green flag in the air. Cody McCauley, Andrew Little taking off. McCauley with the better restart as they head down the one side by side all the way back to the 40th position. What a beautiful opening lap here from the RSR Cup Series at Las Vegas. Cody McCauley able to storm out front, that 62-point leader himself, getting out front of this field and trying to drive away as it is racing all over this racetrack, 3 wide from the 3rd position with Andrew Little. Oh, I think the 81, John Willett there, decides to back out of that and get back in position. But I tell you what, Brandon, the track already showing a lot of racing habits already out there.
Yeah, they've been going at it, especially up here in the top 10. I've been trying to pan back, and every time I do, something crazy happens at the front. I gotta go back to it. And you know, these cars, they drive so well side by side together. They're really stable. But I am noticing it looks like center off, at least in 1 and 2, it's a little bit tight. A lot of guys maybe oversteering, trying to compensate for that, and then the cars getting a little bit on the free side as they're coming off the corner. But everybody's handled it pretty well. No major incidents. Doesn't look like anybody's really even gotten any contact so far as we're coming to start lap 4 here. So it's been really good racing throughout the field.
Oh, it really has been. 3 laps in the books here on lap number 4. Remember, first stage here tonight is on lap 35. You can see Curtis Preston putting a little pressure on Trevor Massetti here, trying to get himself up the inside of Massetti. Down to 3 and 4. Can he make that bottom move work? Cody McCall opening up the bottom here. He looks to the inside of him. Can he do a 2-for-1 sale here?
Well, I think Cody McCauley's liking the outside lane. He made it work to get around Andrew Little at the start here. But I think right now the inside lane, especially in 3 and 4, is where you're going to want to be. The outside lane's really not going to come in much, I think, for 3 and 4. Traditionally, it's a big wiggle behind him out of Dylan Reed. The middle lane is kind of not the place to be really at any point during the race. There's speed there, but it's not nearly as good as the inside lane's going to be in 3 and 4.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Too with Dylan Reed, he had a Code Brown moment, as I like to call it here in Freaky Fast Broadcast, when he came off of turn 2 there. He was swatting bees because that car definitely wanted to snap on him. So it definitely looks like it could be a little snappy free here. With some tight condition into it too. You know, you get behind somebody, you get a little tight, and then you push loose, and you have a big issue. But so far, great race to the field. Cody McCauley able to get back around Curtis Preston using their outside lane. And right now, it looks like some racing going on back here between Zach Schrittfeld on this 2 machine and the 11 of, or actually, I believe that's the 22 of Harold Watkins. Just battling back here for the 15th and 14th position side by side. Great racing.
Yeah, I've noticed they've been side by side for a number of laps here. The 25 was in that battle not too long ago. He's been able to put some distance between them. It looks like the 2 of Zach Schrittfeld is finally going to be able to make that pass. Andrew Rush looking to follow suit here around the outside. And a lot of guys I'm seeing are trying that middle lane in 3 and 4, and it's not giving up as much time as I would have thought.
Yeah, you know, the track's already looking to the point where you could run both lanes. You know, I'm a big fan of just running the bottom here. I think if you can make it work on the bottom, it's going to be the best place to do it. But if you can, if you can make the middle lane work for you, that's going to be a place that you will see some people doing stuff. So it's going to be something we try. Here's the 14 of GT Arizari. He's trying to make his way through the field from that 26th starting position. Very back for him in that number 14. So look at Tony Ludi here in the 13 machine as he goes down into 1. Looks like the 22 Harold Watkins going to get to the inside of him as they exit off of 2, and it's going to be side-by-side racing all around this racetrack right now. There's a lot of good signs already seen from Las Vegas here to kick off this race, Brandon.
Oh yeah, it's look at any given car and it seems like a hornet's nest ahead of them as guys are side by side, kind of thinking about shooting 3 wide, getting really good runs. A lot of multi-group racing around the racetrack, which is amazing to see. Normally here at Vegas, it's normally just 1 and 2 that you'll see guys trying different lines. And traditionally, it's that bottom lane in 3 and 4 that's working out. But these guys are proving right now that this setup is actually working really, really well in that middle lane through 3 and 4, and it's opened up the racing quite a bit.
It has. I tell you what, you know, we've had a common theme of this season with Cody McCauley too. After do at least our first 2 races, he seemed to just shoot out of a cannon and pull away, and then we'd see, you know, Curtis Preston, GT Rosari, some of these slide job racing guys, Travis Everett, you know, make their way on the longer run portion. But I tell you what, Cody McCauley has not pulled away from Curtis Preston. Dylan Reed's not far behind. Dylan Reed's actually got to the 3rd spot now, so that 131, I'd say he's one to watch out for. And I tell you, I think that dude, just from, you know, races I've watched him do, he's the one to really watch for as these runs go on.
Yeah, it seems like, you know, Dylan Reed's always got pretty good long run pace. Cody McCauley, he's very fast on the short run each and every week. It's kind of hit or miss as to whether or not he can put together the long run speed. And like you said, it just seems like he pulls out to a decent gap. You know, slide job racing guys, Curtis Preston or, you know, GT or Travis Everett, who unfortunately couldn't make the race tonight. They just find that long run speed and are able to reel them in. Sometimes it's just not quite enough, and it's allowed Cody McCauley to build up quite a lot of stage points just by having just enough speed to keep them at bay to the end of the stages.
About to see if he can hang on to the end of the stage, but I'll tell you what, this battle we've been watching back here brewing in the 12th, 11th, 10th positions here. This has been fun to watch here with the 34 Nolan Potter, Dustin Stallings, and 93, 25 Ryan Dean, and the 2 Zach Strengthal. They've all been all over the place in 1 and 2, just all different types of lines. They got single filed out for now, but I tell you what, they've been racing very, very tough here throughout this first portion of this race.
No, absolutely. It's funny to watch them kind of slice and dice here, trying to, you know, figure out who's going to step out ahead of them, maybe get a sniff of a draft and help them make a pass behind. But it seems like, you know, everybody got single file now. There's not too much side-by-side racing back here in the pack, at least back to about the 20th position. And, you know, the front straightaways, guys try to plan a run and shoot side-by-side. And by the time we get to the exit of the corner, it's kind of settled itself out.
Looking back from the 55 of Adam Buzzio, you see the 42 of Alex Rudolph directly to his inside here, battling for position as they come down the back straightaway. This is the 23rd, 24th position here. As we look ahead from Adam Buzzio, you see Craig A. Burns there in the 12. He's directly behind Daniel Gonzalez in that 21st position as these drivers all try to get through. And you got to remember, lap 35 is the stage. Those bonus points are so critical. We see how much they play a factor in this point standings. You know, there's a lot of guys trying to drive out through the field. One guy notably, I can say, who's going forward, and one guy who's going backward. They're battling right now. The 13 of Tony Ludi started 8th. He's in jeopardy of falling back here to 18th, and he's going to get passed by GT Rosari, who's made up 8 spots from that 26th position up to 18th. So seeing some pretty good movement through the field here, and some forwards and backwards. But I tell you what, GT, we talked to him last week, had a bad qualifying run then, and that seemed to hinder him for that. He got a good finish still, but definitely didn't get the stage points he probably wanted, and now he's trying to get as close as he can. I don't know if he'll get to the top 10 this stage, but I think he'll get pretty close, Brandon.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, it's something we talk about, it seems like each and every week out of 14 and GT Rosari, that he doesn't necessarily qualify the best, but he's so consistent and smooth, and he's so smart with the way that he races traffic, that at the end of the race, he's right there for the top 5. Unfortunately, it cost him some stage points at times, but, you know, you've got to try to maximize your points and just being able to finish the race. You know, it's great if you win stage 1, but if you wreck out, then you don't get any points for, you know, stage 2 when everybody else does, and, you know, you end up finishing back here somewhere around 30th for the end of the race. It's not really worth the stage points you gain. And I've been watching something Michael Sheffield pulled off quite a while ago. I think maybe he was having some connection issues and was trying to wait for that to sort itself out. But he's back in 40th position now, not too far ahead of Cody McCauley. I believe Cody McCauley's about midway down the backstretch, whereas Michael Sheffield was only coming out of 4.
Yeah, looks about a half a straightaway lead is what I'm seeing between Sheffield and the leader of Cody McCauley at the moment. You know, and let's give a shout out here though to the 16 of Matt Upbrook. At the moment, did start 34th. He's in the back here, back in 36. Remember, he's filling in for Travis Everett tonight from that number 59 machine. So in the 16 here, he's filling in for him, and you know, he's out here racing right now. Just got by Kip Easley, moved himself back to 35th, and racing Kevin Sabilla here for 34th. So Matt Upbrook trying to fill in here tonight and pick up a few spots here as this run continues on before it into the stage. Also got to give a shout to the 057 of Zach Sandlin as he's got called up for Clutch Motorsports as they needed a new spot to be filled, and he is up here in this 057 up to 29th, some third and 36, running the higher lane. I think that's pretty impressive for his first start here too in the Cup Series.
Oh, it absolutely is. You know, the format that Evolution Racing Leagues has with the you know, the feeder series that is ARCA. You get the call up to, you know, even fill in a spot. Just having a good race, it goes a long way to securing a look from somebody who is needing a replacement driver on a team to finally get that call up to say, hey, we want you full time in the Cup Series. So just take care of the equipment and come out here and, you know, nice clean race and make safe passes and show the guys that, hey, you can trust me to run around you. And people remember that. People remember very, very well who that they can race around cleanly.
Very good points there from yourself as we now right on board with Curtis Preston. Look, he had a big moment here in the 29 coming off at 2 as he's trying to put down the laps to catch this leader here, Cody McCauley. It looks, I'll tell you what, they're definitely pretty loose here tonight, Brandon, from what we're looking at on board. We'll ride on board here with Curtis, see if we can see that condition he's fighting in this race car. That's why the outside line personally gets really good. You just get a little bit more stability up there. You see right there in that corner where he starts to flutter the wheel back to that right. That's where the car is on the edge of the grip level. He's doing a good job of not pushing it over. But if you see he'll push it over here at any point here, he'll have a big counter steer moment. You'll see off of 4 here. You can see a little back to the right there, just a teeny bit, definitely on the edge, fighting that car right now as trying to hang on to this 62 who's starting to drive away just a little bit.
And I've noticed that quite a few times now between Curtis Preston and Dylan Reed. A lot of it is to do with just the way that these cars drive. A lot more downforce. You can really sail it into the corner and carry a lot of speed, but it heats up the tires pretty quickly. And these cars are very known for that snap loose type of feel where you've worn in the tire a little bit, and through the center of the corner, it's just not wanting to steer as much. So you've got a little bit extra wheel, and then all of a sudden, once the banking starts to fall away and the weight transfer of the car hits, it just wants to turn all of a sudden. And that's where you see these guys stepping the wheel out like this. You'll see them snapping it back to the right, just trying to keep it underneath.
Yeah, you know, this is an interesting thing. You know, most of the time here in fixed setup racing on iRacing, the balance tends to go to the tighter side, which I imagine these cars are getting tighter. You do get tighter as you go, but you can definitely see the rear ends are definitely on the oversteery side. And I tell you what, some driving styles can fit this setup better, where you're a guy that burns up the right front tire more than usually. This setup will fit you a little more. You're going to make that tire wear a little more even, a little less close to the right front and the right rear, and it'll keep that balance on the front of that car a little bit snugger and a little bit more stable. But if you're a guy that typically is good at saving that right front, if you drive it the same way you do here tonight with a car that goes a little bit to the looser side, you can actually make that worse by saving that right front and having such good front turn in that car that then the rear just has nothing to do but step out. So this is where you're seeing a little interesting stuff play out. This is where the races you can see guys that are, you know, not as fast on the long run at some other tracks can be faster on the long run here just because the car is in a completely different balance range.
Yeah, and it's a lot of the beauty of the different setups that we have. And, you know, then even you throw in the I'm hearing a wreck on the backstretch, no caution yet.
Oh, it does look like an incident here. Yeah, I think they're good to go. It looks like, was that Bob I can't. It's the 84 Daniel Gonzalez. I see that for Gonzo here. And it looks like J.R. Miller in that 28 involved in that. It looks like they're going to get back rolling. So no caution here. And we're going to stay green flag racing here on the racetrack as these guys are nearing the end of stage one. I tell you what, in the second place position starting to heat up. Reed looked loose there for a minute, but he started to put down some of the best times in this race here in this 131 as he closes in on the back of the 29 here.
And you got you've also got to think about talking about the handling, especially with these cup cars. We've got the factor of the dirty air, and that's kind of going to make the snap loose center a little bit worse, but also the front doesn't have the downforce enough to ooze. Then there is a caution. Looks like on the front stretch.
Man, we just seen it. Caution here. It looks like that is the. Looks like. I'm sorry, I could not. It's Scott Taylor in the 97 involved in that, but we were riding on board with Dylan Reed, and you could see Curtis Preston right in front of him. He had a little moment there exiting the corner. So I'm telling you, when you get around lap 30 here, these cars are getting looser here as we check this out. Coming off 4, Scott Taylor losing the rear end. And that car is going to snap loose on him. Hard slam into the outside wall here and see if anything happens from here on out. As, another hard lick. And then he slides down the racetrack, locking the car up. And here comes the leader of Cody McCauley, not too far back here. They got a car going through the grass. Woo! I think that was the Kool-Aid man of Michael Martino, and he was saying, "Oh no," again.
Yeah, it's oh no.
After he got through it, he was like, "Oh yeah." So we got all these cars hitting pit road. So hitting pit road here. I'm not sure if that's going to be the end of the stage. I don't know if Brandon, you heard anything official on the radio, but
that will be the stage break, Zach.
Okay, yeah, so definitely right there, stage break. So Cody McCauley here bringing home the Sheffield Graphics stage 1 win. So congrats to him on that. As they come off pit road, a little race here with Dylan Reed and Curtis Preston. Looks like McCauley out ahead of them, but there was a few cars I seen come out ahead of them. It looks like Alex Rudolph and Nathan Campbell, 2 cars possibly gambling here and using that. So we'll have to bring up our stage winner here tonight for stage number 1, and that is the only Cody McCauley. As we'll pull him on down here and let him have a chat here with Brandon.
Hey, Cody, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, you missed out on the pole for some reason, but still managed to grab that stage 1 win here for the 10 bonus points. It's been crazy racing so far. I know up at the front you haven't been able to see much of it, but how is the car handling? It looks like it's trending toward the loose side as the run went on here.
This thing is horrible. It is slipping, sliding sideways. Don't want to turn, then does want to turn. This thing's a handful, to say the least. Under caution, kind of glad, kind of catch my breath and get ready for this next one. We barely missed a pole. Not sure why. I felt like we had a pretty good line. 1 and 2 was great. We just lost a little bit in 3 and 4. Might get a little loose on me. Didn't realize it, but started second. Was able to jump out, get an early lead, and just kept on trucking. So sticks to designs, Delta 9. Camaro looks good tonight. So we'll just see where we end up. Teammates right here starting 1-2 in this stage should help us out.
Yeah, I gotta say, if you say it's horrible, I think we've seen the least amount of wiggling out of you. So if you're saying it's horrible, everybody else has got to be white knuckling it right now. But as you're getting a little bit of bump draft from your teammate there, we'll let you get back down and get ready to restart this thing and see what happens in stage 2.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, that was Cody McCauley, your stage number 1 winner here tonight at the RSR Cup Series. So congrats to him on pulling that victory off. And you heard from him. He said it's a handful. It's terrible, and it's kind of what I expected, Brandon. This car, man, I'm telling you, you can get these nights and these feelings that going along in these runs where you're going one corner one time, you're like, man, I am plowing tight. I can't turn. This is ridiculous. Then you go in there the next time, and you have more turn than you ever had the whole race, and the rear end's starting to drive past you. And that's never good when your rear end passes you on the oval. So it's scary to drive with. I know exactly what they're feeling out there, but But I tell you what, this is the type of driving that takes that absolute focus and just being on a knife edge all night, a grip. You can't overdrive the entry. You can't overdrive the middle. You can't overdrive the exit because it's going to bite you one way or the other.
And if they're worried about 30 laps, I can't wait for the 68 or so laps we've got for the final segment of this race after stage 2. And before we go back green, got to give a quick shout out to everybody on Facebook tuning in. See Steve Kerpel out there from the new
Wallbangers
merger on Saturday night's Wallbangers. So nice to see you out there. Travis Everett joining us from work. So sorry you missed it, but thanks for tuning in. Kevin Dowd rooting on his teammates. Michael Martino throwing in an oh yeah for his save there.
I got to give him a oh yeah.
So thanks everybody for coming out and tuning in, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of this race.
Michael Martino is my favorite. I love this car. It's great. Like, Robert's a candy man. I'm a Kool-Aid man. Now, when we talk about what flavor Kool-Aid, we get into a whole different discussion, and we can't do that because we don't have enough time on the podcast tonight to talk about that. So guess what? We're going back green flag racing after stage number 1 has been complete here. Entering stage number 2, pace car is going to pull in. Green flag back in the air. Cody McCauley, great restart with Dylan Reed on the outside. Looks like Curtis Preston going to try to get to the inside here as they'll try to sort it out going down towards turn 1.
Yeah, if you pan back through the field there, you could really see the accordion effect of how long it took the back of the field to start going compared to the front. Not caused an issue yet. Everybody giving plenty of space, but I know if it comes down to the late race restart here, that's going to change in a hurry. Everybody's going to be right on top of each other. A lot of great battling up here. Looks like nearly 3 wide going into turn 3 there.
Yeah, it's all over the racetrack right now, my friend. 31 at Casey Queens back here in the 23rd position, battling it up. They got drivers going to the bottom, to the top. Looks like the 31 going to the bottom of Tony Woody here to go down to the corner. Man, oh man, actually that was the start, but that was the 17 Kevin Sabledale. As you see the 31 work to the inside of 13 Tony Ludy. Car on the apron in front of Casey Coons. He's going to try to slide up the racetrack as that's the 21 of David Hall here as they go 3 wide down into the corner. That's not going to work. Tony Ludy goes around, hard hit to the outside wall. We got a wreck happening here in the back. That's going to bring on our second caution of the night, brought to you by Ord Nissan Central. And man, they may have to go to the Ord Nissan Central and get them things worked on.
Yeah, big hit. Looked like Zach Sandlin doing that trial ride tonight. Unfortunately, nowhere to go for him. Just slight contact, nearly had it saved, but guys behind just could not quite get it wound up in time to give him the room he needed. And big junk for a lot of guys.
Yeah, you can see right here on the replay, that was Casey Coons, Tony Ludy, James Courtrun. Oh, look at this hard hit for that race car to the front end, sending him down the racetrack into the outside wall for Tony Ludy. Multiple cars involved. Alex Rudolph involved. The 52 of Nathan Campbell gets a little damage. But I tell you who broke through that wreck. The Kool-Aid Man. Because look at it. Here we go. We got the on board with the Kool-Aid Man. Robert read my mind because guess what? The Kool-Aid Man busted right through this wreck. He was definitely saying, oh, yeah, after that one.
That was a whole lot of oh no's followed by a really sightful oh yeah.
That's all he can say. He literally knows 3 words. It's oh, no, and yeah. That's literally the only 3 words the Kool-Aid Man knows. And that's all he needs to know. So, he definitely busted through that wreck here for a second time tonight. So, congrats to Michael Martino and the Kool-Aid machine. As I don't think anybody here is going to elect to hit pit road. We just need everybody come down, get tires, fuel. So I don't think you're going to see any drivers elect to do that.
Yeah, I don't think we will either. It's not going to benefit you too much to have any extra fuel right here because everybody can make it to the end of the stage, and really that extra fuel load, if anything, is going to make your car a little bit looser just by virtue of having that extra weight.
Yeah, definitely. That weight weighing down the rear end's going to drop that rear and take that spoiler out there a little bit, and that's going to create less rear downforce. And I got pointed out something here by our main producer man up here, boss man we call him, Robert Moyer Jr., that he's got a cool new little feature here down here on the ticker. As you can see, you got Curtis Preston up here on the board. As you can see, it says dual number 2 and auto club winner. So that means he's the winner of the dual, the second dual race at Daytona and the auto club race. So bringing home 2 checker flags here this season, and that's cool. And we'll have that up to date as this season goes on, and you'll be able to see where these drivers have won at before.
Well, depending on how the season progresses for a lot of these guys, you might need a little bit bigger of a ticker box for all the wins they're going to be piling on there.
He said he's gonna work on that, guys.
Going to have, Travis Everett make a comeback here after missing tonight's race, come out, win 10 races there. It's going to look like a shopping list.
I tell you what, it's a bad dude. He'll go out there and win some races. Gotta give a shout out to Trevor here. He's had a great season so far. You know, he won that first duel, as you can see there, duel number 1 winner. He led a lot last Daytona and finished second. And other, we didn't really have a gauge to weigh or a scale, I guess you could say, to weigh Trevor on, because we hadn't seen him before, Brandon. He was a straight, he didn't come out of the ARCA series. He's just a straight newcomer to all of us here. And he's slided right in, man, and he has done a fantastic job in his rookie season here in the Cup Series.
Absolutely. He's been really consistent so far. He's always seems to be up at the front here contending. It doesn't quite have the speed necessarily to get up there and contend at these, intermediate tracks, but he was really strong at Daytona, and he's hanging out really strong tonight at Vegas in that 4th position. He's been up there battling, but just slightly off the pace here. I'm sure as the night goes on, he's going to have a chance to figure out quite a bit here. He's got pretty much the fastest guys in the field right now ahead of him to learn from. So I'm sure he's going to pick up the pace quite a bit by the time we wrap this thing up.
Oh, we got Travis Everett saying Tim might be stretching it. We're shooting for 9, and Robert saying he needs to go for 11. I don't know. I'm a bigger fan of the number 9 than 11. The 9 is a championship number, so if you can win 9 races and keep that 9 beside you, you're probably going to win a championship. Curtis Price has got the 9 in his number. He's the 29. He's the defending champ. You got to have a 9 in there.
You can have that 9, and I'll raise you 10 more. How's about that?
19?
That's right. MTJ, let's go.
He lost his sidekick, so we'll get away from that.
Don't talk.
He lost
to me
his
about
magic.
That.
He lost his magic. Okay.
Well, I don't know about that, but Cole Pern not being there definitely hurt a bit, but still really strong.
Yeah. We'll have to see how 2021 goes, and then 2022 we'll get the new car, and then you know what's great? If you want to experience racing for the first time, you should go join iRacing.com. Check it out, because we're going to have all the new stuff as NASCAR gets it too. So we're going to be right there to experience with the new drivers, the new packages, the new tracks, the everything. It's going to be so fun to watch how the next few years NASCAR develop. But tell you what, it's a good year to send off these Gen 6 cars.
That's right. If you're excited for the new NASCAR season to start up here in a couple weeks, go ahead and hop on iRacing.com and try it for yourself. Man, it's a blast.
Yeah, you can run the Daytona 500 yourself. It's a blast, trust me. It's an experience. It makes you respect those guys for doing 500 laps in those hot race cars.
Yeah.
In our air condition, it's a little tough too. But pace car is going to pull back in this time. We're going to go back green flag racing. And I tell you what, Cody McCauley, he did not let a second waste. He's back on that gas pedal, leading us down to turn 1. Looks like Dylan Reed, decent restart, trying to close the door on Curtis Price, but Curtis Price is going to get back to the inside here for that second position.
And we talked about it during the ARC race a little while ago, that on the restarts, that inside lane for turn 1 is really where you want to be. Dylan Reed's going to have a little bit more momentum, but not quite enough. Looking to make the crossover here going into turn 3. Curtis Preston trying to close it off, but just leaving just enough on the door to make sure that there's no contact there.
Looks like they're pretty loose at the moment here, riding on board with Trevor in the 88. You can see the battle here between the 131 of Dylan Reed and the 29 of Curtis Preston. They go down to 1. Cody McCauley slide on the racetrack. Trevor Massetti having a big moment. Kevin Giadrich is directly behind him. Definitely having a moment also, too. There's some cold tires out here on the racetrack, and they are not gripping the surface.
Yeah, they are really not. Especially, the track temp's down a bit, so it's going to take much longer for these tires to really get up to their optimal temperature. And you're going to have that loose condition on fresh tires for, an extra 2 or 2.5 laps. And great job for the 88 trying to save that. It looks like he's trying to enter on the bottom there, but the bumps are just wreaking havoc with his car right now.
Yeah, that is really the problem with the bottom here. As you look at Ryan Ezel now here too, as I think there's almost a change for the lead. Did Curtis Preston actually get by? He did. He's passing Cody McCauley out of 4 here, making the move straight to the lead for past season champion Curtis Preston. Here comes Cody McCauley, fight back to the outside lane. Can he have something down here in one? This is the corner where the outside lane is a little bit stronger. We'll see if he can work that groove. Here's a ride on board Curtis Preston. He's not going to be able to hold off McCauley as he's back to the outside here as they go down to 3 and 4. This is where the bottom's going to come back. But, you know, back to what I was saying is those bumps down in 1 and 2, that is what makes 1 and 2 so treacherous for that bottom lane and that outside lane so good. You got them bumps down there, and it just, the car never settles. If you can master getting over those bumps, though, I still, like I say, I think the bottom line is the best line. But it's just mastering those bumps and keeping your car balance in a stable condition. As you can see Curtis Preston really loose over those bumps as they head down to turn 3.
Yeah, it's odd because there's a very specific entry to turn 1 where you can hit the bumps and they're very minimal and don't do much to upset the balance of the car. But unless you hit that, it's just, you're kind of flipping a coin as to how the car is going to react. Sometimes it'll stick, sometimes it's really not going to want to. And we saw last time by Curtis Preston, it stuck, but it really wanted to rotate. He just caught the apron there, washed up the track just a little bit, had to lift. And great battling for the lead here.
Yeah, this is great battling. The only thing I'm worried about is just hopefully that 29 can keep it together on that bottom, because the 62 is definitely, you know, he's not letting him get a bunch of room. That's you can't let him. You can't. You know, you have to be closer to that quarter panel to make sure that distance around the corner he doesn't clear you. If Curtis Preston clears him, I think it's a pretty easy pass, because that's the problem. If you can't slide up from the bottom lane, it's just so tough. And I think Curtis Preston going to pull it here off, actually slide up the racetrack. Cody McCauley want to have a good run. Yeah, back to the inside here in 3 and 4. Can Preston hold him off in 3 and 4? Very close racing between these two leaders up front. And I tell you what, these two I've seen go to battle before in the trucks and in these cup cars, and they leave no room on the table.
Yeah, very close. You know, there's a lot of respect between them, and they know that they can trust each other. And you see how close they're running in the corners here. And even on the exits, just right door to door with the utmost confidence that they're not going to get into any contact with the other driver. And they're just sizing each other up here. You know, I don't imagine, I mean, they're pushing hard, but at the same time, it's not anything too over the top, and just trying to see for later in the race here which line is going to play out better. You know, we see them essentially swap positions now, and again, side by side. I think it's just a matter of trying to hold side by side as long as you can until somebody makes a mistake. Cody McCauley sliding up the track just a little bit. Curtis Preston just about clips the wall, trying to give him room. Man, this is I don't think these guys have taken a breath in about 5 laps.
Yeah, they've been side by side for 5 laps now. This is definitely interesting. You're seeing Preston still get the run on the outside here, working the outer groove, and Cody McCauley doing everything he can to clear him on the bottom. It's just tough. You got to be able to sell it off in here to clear in that middle of the corner to give you that room on the exit to slide up. But I tell you what, Curtis Preston will cross him over if he does that, just like Cody McCauley did to him. And you'll see here off the corner, Preston fights back against the outside for that 29. This racing is it's fun to watch, but I tell you what, I think Dylan Reed here has got to be the one licking his chops watching these guys run side by side for upwards of 7 to 8 laps now.
Yeah, and this type of battling, you know, like you said, it's fun to watch, it's fun to be a part of, but this is going to eat the tires quite a bit more. You know, on the inside, you're having to pinch the car down a whole lot more. You're not able to sweep all the way out to the wall, and it's going to burn up a little bit more tire. On the outside, you're carrying a little bit more speed. You're not having to go up quite as much, and it's going to heat up the tires a little bit more as well. And Curtis Preston just dives through 3 and 4 there. He's
loose.
Big wiggle.
Woo, back to the inside now. Cody McCauley going to try to pull it back off as he Preston pulled the slider. And he definitely did the slide part of the slide job. Because dead sideways off of 4 there. Here you're going to see him try to fight back to the outside. McCauley not going to be able to close the door there. This is great racing. Great respect shown between each other, because I'm telling you, there could be a lot more squeezing going on that exit, but lots of room being given for the bottom car. And that car really dictates a lot of it. Is, ooh, Preston loose there, but this is going to let McCauley definitely clear here. And look at here, Dylan Reed says, What's up, guys? You guys been battling?
And even directly behind them, another teammate, the 81 John Willett, and Trevor Massetti still hanging on strong directly behind him. And these guys, you know, they've slowed their pace a little bit with this battle, and I'm just wondering who ended up with the worst tire wear out of it, because Curtis Preston, he's looking really, really loose, especially in 3 and 4 the last couple times by.
Man, it's this is fun stuff to watch here. 55 laps in the books, and it's been side by side, 2 wide, 3 wide, loose wide. Actually, it's just all over the place right now as we jump back here around Dustin Stallings. And this, actually, sorry about that. That's not Dustin Stallings, but Green. I believe that's Harold Walkinson, 22. Yes, it is there. As he comes off a turn 4 in the 21st position. You see right ahead of him, you got a lot of cars. James Courtruns, Kevin Zablin, Craig A. Burns, Rusty Modesty, Bob Fitzpatrick, Adam Buzzio, Dustin Stallings. You know, all right here directly ahead of this 22.
Man, I'm still watching this battle for the lead here. The leaders came up on some lap traffic, and it got very hairy very quickly. I gotta give a shout out to GT Irizarry up to 8th position now, Zach.
Wow. Yeah, he's continued the run through the field. He's up to Nolan Potter now. Kevin Jadrich will be next in line. Ryan Bean also 15th to 9th. That's some good news. Zach Schroepthal, you know, 16th to 10th. GT's trying to make the move here on Nolan Potter, though, making that bottom work here as they come off of 2. It's going to be interesting to see if he can make the 3 and 4 lane work here as he goes around the inside side by side with the 34 Nolan Potter here as they come off of 4, trying to take that 7th position.
It's just been really great battling all throughout this field so far. Let's see, Kevin Zabladil 17 up 20 positions so far this race. Ryan Azell in the 5 up 9. These guys are just going at it. You know, with this big of a field, there's just so much racing to keep up with.
Oh, a great point. You know, we were talking about the slide job that Curtis Preston threw. He's also on Slide Job Racing. Thanks for. I didn't even think of that. That didn't click in my brain. Thank you out there, Mary, for. You know, that's literally a part of their racing name is Slide Job. So they're gonna be throwing them. That's for sure.
I think it's a prerequisite.
Yeah, right. You got to be able to do that. And I tell you what, it's definitely shooken up front now with Dylan Reed now second. John Willett's up to 3rd, back to where he started in that 81. So it's a good climb back for him as he's got by Curtis Preston and Trevor Massetti now in the 5th position. As his top 5 is really going to work. And I tell you, Nolan Potter didn't let GT get by. So a lot of hard battling going on back here as we ride on board with Ryan Ezell. Back to Zach Schroepthal now in this tube machine. He's running in the 10th spot, trying to get those final points for that stage ending caution at lap number 70. So 10 to go.
Might have a caution here. 2 cars on the wall. Was the 17 of Kevin Zablin and the 22 of Harold Watkins in 1 and 2.
Looks like they're going to keep it together there as the 17 of Kevin Zablin will definitely slow up in that high lane here. You see 42 Alex Rudolph going by. Multiple cars, Michael Sheffield going by. Yeah, it's great racing, but I tell you what, the 17 got caught up in something there and it definitely slowed him up. But he's got her back up to speed now, and he looks like he's fell back to the 25th position after that.
Unfortunately, that's a lot of damage on that 17 machine. Definitely going to hurt the speed here. Hopefully he can get a good amount of that fixed here in about 10 laps when they come in for the second stage.
Whew, man, we got some great racing going on, and the leaders encountering lap traffic with Nathan Campbell. I tell you what, I think we might have a side-by-side battle here in a moment too, as the 54 starting to look to the inside with the 131 Dylan Reed up here in the front now, putting the pressure on Cody McCauley here as we are under 10 to go in stage number 2.
Well, and then again, right behind them, teammate John Willett in the 81, looking to slowly start reeling them in here. Looks like Curtis Preston, just a couple too many wiggles, falling off on pace just a little bit. It's not much, but just enough to start slowly backing away from these guys. Trevor Massetti, almost matching lap times in 5th place with our 2 first and second place cars right now.
Yeah, this is great racing going on here. Look, Kevin Jadrich now as he's got passed by the 34 Nolan Potter, the 14 GTA Rosario, and the 25 Ryan Bean. So he went from the 6th position back to 9th. As now Ryan Bean trying to make a pass here on GTA Rosario as he's going to the outside of Nolan Potter. So great racing here. GTA Rosario trying to break up into the top 6 here after a rough qualifying in that 26th position.
And I think we're at the point now where, look, Ryan Bean into the wall behind him.
Bean into the wall, just a little bit of dirty air there.
Yeah, I think we're into the point now where the tires are getting worn in, where the outside lane is really the most comfortable position to be in. I think if you can just position yourself to into the outside lane, that's where you want to be to make a pass, and that's where you want to be to defend for sure. Because Nolan Potter is just, I don't think it's easy to get back to the throttle on the inside lane like that.
And look at these race cars, Brandon. They're all over the place. There's so many different lines there in 1 and 2. Even 3 and 4, you're seeing multiple lines work. So that's the type of stuff that literally makes me smile when sim racing can produce racing like that, because that's about as good as you can get when you talk about racing. Just side-by-side hard racing. And I tell you what, side-by-side racing is up front now as Dylan Reed is trying to make the pass on Cody McCauley. They've been side-by-side for half a lap now.
Yeah, and got to give the advantage to Dylan here. You know, he's going to have the fresher tires. Cody McCauley battling with a good number of laps with Curtis Preston here, trying to defend with that outside lane and just make sure that his teammate can't get that swing out to the wall and maximize his exit speed. Doing a really good job of it so far. And, you know, we talked to him during the last stage, and he said that he really didn't like the way the car was handling. Felt like it was just all over the place and really having to wheel it. But for as much as he's been battling right now, I can see him stepping out, but it doesn't look that unstable.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be tough for Reed here to get this done, especially as becoming a 3 to go this time in the stage. You get close to somebody, and it's just tough to make that bottom work, first of all, but it's also tough to follow. It's just really tough with dirty air to be able to stick behind another car for super long without hurting your tires. And, you know, it's just something we're going to have to watch for all night. And looking at Andrew Little, we were starting on the pole, running in 12th right now, so not kept it up where he's wanted to, but I tell you what, he's right on the fringe of getting points here as they're becoming a 2 to go this time for the stage.
You know, Zach, and watching, you know, this battle for the lead here, talking about the inside lane, I'm almost wondering if it'd be more beneficial for Dylan Reed to try that extreme outside lane in 1 and 2. Try to set up that run going into 3 and 4 to pounce on the inside and maybe make something happen there, because it looks like he just can't keep up running the bottom in 1 and 2. He can kind of maintain, but he doesn't get the run he needs to make the move to try to take the position into 3.
I tell you what, it's going to be side by side. I think coming to the white flag here as they're side by side exiting for Dylan Reed one final time here, trying to get it. White flag in the air. Dylan Reed here going to give it everything he got here as we ride on board here for one final lap here. Stage number 2. What can he do? Look at him send it to the white line. He cleared him. What
Great
a move!
but
Can the crossover happen? Here they go down the back straight. I think Reed might be in a good position though to hold on here as they come into the corner side by side. Reed and the 31 fighting, sliding, coming off of 4. He's got the run. Dylan Reed wins stage number 2 here at the RSR Cup Series. What a battle down to the end, man. That's just setting up for a great finish for the race.
And Dylan Reed comes over. He says, "Slide job, slide job."
Wow, man! Did you see him driving into 1?
I'm surprised that it stuck the way that it did. Especially, you know, we talked about the bumps. I thought for sure he's just sailing in and straight up to the fence. But man, it stuck just as well as he needed it to. Didn't even have to lift coming out of the corner and easily cleared the 62. And then really made him work for it, fighting on the outside through 3 and 4 to take the stage win.
Wow. Telling you what, that was a move to watch because that is tough to do, and he made it look just perfect. I mean, he wasn't even side by side entering the corner. He drove it in there and cleared him, man. That was one of the best passes we will probably see all night, and I'm going to tell you what, that is setting up for a great finish. Congrats to Dylan Reed on stage number 2 victory here at the RSR Cup Series here tonight. Man, Kali, I'm just I'm mind blown how he just made that stick that well. When we rode on board there and just watched it, I mean, how deep he went, I did not think that was going to work.
And that's the thing. Like, to make a move like that, you have to overdrive the car so much, but you can't overdrive it. Like, and just the amount of, as much as they're struggling with the grip right now, to sail a move in like that and Abbott's stick is really as perfectly as he did was just amazing to watch. And like you said, that's going to be something a lot of guys are looking at, putting that in the memory bank for later in the race when they may need it. I'm sure Cody McCauley definitely has.
That man, I'm telling you, that right there was that was one to be noted. That was a crazy pass for him, and I'm excited to hear what he has to say after this interview, and then we'll have a special little segment where we do a race recap here up to this point of this race. So it looks like Reed going to exit pit road here, going to win the race off in that 131 here, as they'll put on their second set of tires, leaving with one set here left tonight. And now we'll pull up your stage number 2 winner of Dylan Reed.
Hey, Dylan, it's Brandon up in the booth. How you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Well, not as good as you, I'd imagine, man. That was one heck of a move there to take the stage 2 win, man. We were mighty impressed by how well that stuck, and we've seen it looks like these tires, they're giving up. The car's getting really free as the run goes on, and it looked like you saved quite a bit watching your teammate battle Curtis Preston there. How did that stage play out for you?
Honestly, it played out just like I wanted it to. I learned a lot in that first stage about how to save that right rear, and so I just let them go. And as soon as I knew that their battle was over, I knew it was my time to take off. And I can make the bottom line work without getting too loose. I know other people are getting real loose down there, and it just worked out in my favor. And obviously, I made it stick at the end.
Well, we said that was probably going to be a move that everybody was paying attention to for later in the race, and I'm sure your teammate Cody McCauley is going to be saving that one in the memory bank too. Man, excited for the race you guys put on so far. Really excited for this last stint here towards the end, and I'm sure it's going to be a whale of a battle. And got to wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of this thing.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, that was Dylan Reed, your stage winner for stage number 2 here at the RSR Cup Series. And man, I tell you, what I just heard from him, Brandon, was very important. But we need to go to a new little segment here we have on Freaking Fast Broadcasting. And then we're going to call this the Mid-Race Report from Kali.
Ooh, fancy. Well, so far, we've had 2 cautions for incidents, 2 stage cautions. First incident taking out a good number of cars here. First stage winner going to be Cody McCauley, who just missed sitting on the pole, which would have gone to Andrew Little. And then that you saw it just here, that battle with Dylan Reed and Cody McCauley for the stage 2 win. And if you guys loved that first half of the race here, this second half is going to just be amazing. I hope we get a caution at the end of this thing, because just the battling we're seeing during the long green flag runs, a short restart is going to be a no-biter for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anyway, look at it, I think it's going to be a no-biter down to the very end, man. But, yeah, great race report here. And, we'll be getting a graphic up there for all you people, and let you see all the shiny little bells and whistles we'll bring. But something we're going to start doing here a little bit more is a mid-race report. So thank you there, Brandon, for letting us all know about that. But the one thing I wanted to bring up from the interview from Dylan Reed, before I forget this, he said he noticed he can make the bottom work in 1 and 2, where a lot of people have been having issues getting loose. And I'll just that right there just clicked in my brain, because I've been saying in a lot of races, I think it's the best line. And the reason I'm saying that is what I'm just from past experience, got to give a shout out to my teammate Cedric Hunter. That dude can run the bottom here better than I've seen a lot of people run it, and he makes people, when they move up, look almost dumb. Like, how does he run the bottom that fast? But I'm telling you, that just clicked there with me, that saying Dylan Reed has that figured out also. And I think it's going to be the key to pulling off the victory tonight, is making that pass and down in 1 and 2 like he did.
And I got to point out, in the ARCA race just a little while ago, Hunter Hayward, who ended up winning that race, he never left that white line.
Exactly, and I tell you, who told him that? Cedric Hunters.
Right up there, you go.
Tell you what, it's definitely a theme as the pace car pulls in here, and we're back. Green flag racing here as Dylan Reed will lead us back down to turn 1 here after winning stage number 2. It's gonna be side by side between Cody McCauley and Curtis Preston. Let's see what these dudes can do here in the final stage of this race.
Well, front 5 already single filed out, but I don't imagine that's going to last too much longer here. Curtis Preston already under fire, crossover move from Cody McCauley, who's saying, you know what, I want my lead back.
Yeah, he's saying I'll take the throne back because that's definitely the place I feel like he feels the best out in. So we'll see if he can get it back here as he's all over the back of teammate Dylan Reed now.
And I almost wish we could have interviewed Cody McCauley during that caution just to get, his thoughts on that move that Dylan Reed pulled off, and seeing it, the stage went really slip away from him there. But man, I'm so excited for the rest of this race. It's been such a blast so far. These guys always, week after week, put on such a great show.
They really, really do, man. It's always a pleasure to be up here in the booth alongside your colleague calling these RSR Cup Series, Arca Evolution, and the Adrenaline Rush Truck Series races here at the Evolution Race Leagues. It's just, you never know what you're going to do.
And by the looks of things, I'm kind of expecting a green flag pit stop here for this final segment of the race. And again, I got to point out, GT Rosario sitting in 5th position right now.
Wow, this is what he's done for 2 races in a row now, Brandon. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him up in the top 3 at some point here. As we're on lap 79 here, riding on board with Zach Schrittenfeld on this 2 machine, the 8th spot. As I tell you what, the battle up front is definitely heating up as John Willette's got to the inside of Curtis Preston. And Cody McCauley trying to put as much pressure as he can on that 131 Dylan Reed. But it's going to be a showdown to the very end here now. I literally could not tell you who is the favorite at the moment.
Well, I tell you, I think Curtis Preston learned a little bit in his battle with Cody McCauley there. It seemed like he was the biggest loser on tire wear during that battle. And I believe a majority of that was because he was pinched down on the inside lane where he just can't run like, we talked to Dylan Reed. He said he figured out how to save the right rear and he could run the bottom very well. And he's going to try to stay on the outside of John Willette as long as possible here to try to minimize his tire wear. But it's kind of stacking up the field behind him.
It really is starting to stack up a little bit behind here. As you can see, right on board with 34 Nolan Potter here. He looks directly behind the 88 Trevor Massetti. You got GT Irizarry here now, too. And the battle's back here heating up. The 42 Alex Real directly behind the battle. Brock Potter there in the 4, the 11 Matthew Rush. That's another driver who personally, I haven't heard a lot about Matthew Rush this season here. He was top 4 last season, Brandon. So that 11, not having the greatest start to the season, but hopefully he can get it all figured out for him.
Well, I can't say that I blame him. I know, I'm not the biggest fan of the West Coast swing. I love Auto Club. Vegas is really hit or miss for me as well. But Homestead, he had decent speed as well, and just couldn't quite bring together that decent finish. And I'm not sure how well he is in Phoenix, but I know a lot of guys. It's either they love it or they hate it. And it's a long season. And it helps to come out firing on all cylinders, but you've got a lot of time to, really work at it and figure things out and put together, the strong run you need at the end of the season like you did last season.
Look at this battle here between Matthew Rush and these drivers. It's definitely on fire up here for this position.
Yeah, I'm watching here and looking at Bob Fitzpatrick. I'm hoping nobody wrecks in front of him because if there's a scratch on that thing at the end of it, I'm going to be really sad. But he's moved up 15 positions now, battling in the 18th spot. Slowly but surely, not quite the progress VT has made, but very significant progress in the finish.
Yeah, definitely a great movement up for him from 33rd to 18th. So that's great to see. Also got Adam Buzzy up 27th, 12th. that's a great drive for him. Also, GT 26 to 4th. I mean, that just is everything you can hear about. It's 22 positions that 14 is made up, and he's been putting pressure on John Willett up here up front to get that 3rd spot. And you never know, he could be fighting for a win when it comes down to the end of this. If he comes from 22nd to 1st, man, it's just amazing to see his growth in the race compared to qualifying.
Yeah, I imagine if somehow GT comes away with winning this thing after starting this far back in the field, that's going to be a very animated interview.
Yeah, that is going to be. Don't miss it. Let's just say that if that happens, don't miss it, because that'll be a fun one to listen to for sure, man. He's got teammate Curtis Preston directly behind him as he's trying to go to work on the 81 of John Willett, as the two teammates at Elite Racing Group, as now they break up that 1, 2, 3 for Elite Racing Group, I must say. And GT makes the pass. As up front, Cody McCauley still trying to get by the 131 Dylan Reed here.
I think I could be mistaken, but it looked like there was a little bit of a wiggle out of the 31. He had a big moment and snapped up the racetrack, but never lifted. He didn't lose any speed out of the corner, but he went from the bottom to the top quite a bit sooner than his teammate directly behind him.
Yeah, you know, and with this stage here, Brandon, I know that they're not going to be able to make it all the way, most likely here. So, you know, at lap 70, they're still going to need to go 63, and that is definitely not going to be that with the size of the tank they have here tonight. So I'm wondering, when do they pit? And, you know, I would think it has to happen around lap 100 from there on. So pits are not far away, actually, here on lap 89.
If it was my call, I think I would be trying to have the shortest run that I possibly could on my last set of tires, knowing how bad the handling gets. But it's a big toss-up as well, because the undercut is going to be a huge thing. Ooh, Curtis Preston up into the 81. 81 manages to keep it out of the fence.
Great save from John Willett, the 81. Definitely look like a little bit of contact between him and the 29 Curtis Preston, as Curtis Preston got off the racetrack just a little bit and got into that 81. That sent him definitely backwards now, as he's battling here with Zach Schrittenstraw.
He's in the wall with the 2.
Oh, and up in the wall. Looks like the 2 got a little bit free there under him and just a little bit tail happy. And both of them in the wall. That's going to hurt John Willett the worst, though, out of all that, as he's going to get the right front damage. And we got a question up here in the booth coming from our producer. So I'll just go to address it and let everybody know exactly what, you know, he's asking, you know, when a car gets beside you, is it pulling that car around? Is it, you know, when you get to that right rear quarter panel with your left front? Not necessarily. I think the biggest thing is it affects, you know, someone being on your outside. You drive a little differently. I mean, the car's going to drive differently first of all when you're on. You can't let it go out. So you got to expect something a little differently. So when you have someone on that quarter panel, I think it kind of gets in your head a little bit. Not necessarily, I don't think on iRacing yet do we have those exact effects to where you can suck a car around and take downforce away from them yet. But you know, it's definitely a question that a lot of drivers had, and it's something you can use, but I think it's more about putting the pressure on a driver that makes them make mistakes like that.
To add to that, I think, you know, it is more so, like Zach said, when you have somebody on your outside, your main focus at that point is, you know, especially with limited visibility, is just trying to make sure they have all the room they need. You don't want to come up into that car, so you're maybe putting a little bit extra wheel in to make sure it's pinned down, and that will make you snap loose. If you're already having that snap loose effect, it's going to be a lot worse trying to pin it down like it as much as you are to give the guy on the outside of your room, and that's when you'll see guys get really, really loose. And unfortunately, sometimes you know, that happens where we'll have a situation where a guy gets loose and the room that he needs to save it is the room you're occupying. So it's not necessarily any air.
It's definitely an interesting concept, and it's something that, you know, it's always changing. You know, iRacing's doing a better and better job. Shout out to them of simulating aero conditions around these cars, and it's something cool to see that they bring into the picture. But I'll tell you what, up front, a little bit of lap traffic came into play there with Zach Sandlin And Dylan Reed almost had the 62 of Cody McCauley make a move on him there, as he kind of had to check up just a little bit to make sure he can make the exit, I think, with the lap car.
And as the second place car, you're really going to be trying to figure out where you can time a pass. Maybe use that lap car as a pick, and as the leader, you're just hoping, man, give me my line. That's all you ask. Just give me my line, hold it together. Don't cause any problems for me.
I'll tell you, we saw a big moment for the one of Sheffield. I think it was the driver of Dustin Stallings getting loose on his outside, hitting him in the door, and Sheffield went for a ride in the down the back stretch, pointing towards the inside wall, and he gathered it all up and kept it going. So just shows you what these drivers are fighting with, the loose condition. And I tell you what, the battle for the lead is just, I don't think McCauley has left the back bumper this whole entire run of the leader, Dylan Reed.
And most likely not. Now, the thing is, it's something we talked about before. The dirty air, it's going to make you tighter, which is, he's going to have to back it up a little bit more. It's not going to use his right front. And you alluded to this to the start of the race. That should Cody McCauley get around Dylan Reed with that extra front, the car's going to rotate a lot more, which is going to make that loose condition quite a bit worse for him.
Yeah, it's going to be something we have to monitor, as we are 97 laps in the books here at the RSR Cup Series. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, as it's been a special night here of racing, just multi-groove, good old-fashioned Cup Series racing, and it's been a blast to cover so far. As man, I tell you what, Kevin Ruff here in the 112 doing a great job, running in that 7th position for the night, so he's having a great night, up 2 spots.
And not too far back from him, the 81 of John Willett has definitely faded now. That damage is hurting him severely. He's sitting in the 12th position right now. Oh, and there's a car around in turn 1.
Oh, really?
Pole sitter, Andrew Little. Oh, and Sheffield's involved.
Oh no, Zach Sandlin involved? Multiple drivers there. As a 68, it started around Andrew Little there, as our 4 caution of the night, brought to you by Ord Nissan Central, is out. And we're going to see here is the first incident there was Andrew Little, but we'll have to see exactly what happened there as Sheffield came into the picture in the 1. And that's kind of where it all went wrong for caution-wise here. But go back on Freaky Fast Replay. Check out what happened. You see up here ahead of the sparks and the smoke, that's from Andrew Little getting into the wall, sliding down the racetrack. Look at multiple drivers sliding those cars. There goes the 6 of Rusty Monty. Oh, the 42, Alex Rudolph, get a little damage. And here comes the 1 of Michael Sheffield coming into the picture. He's on the white line there, trying to miss it, and just side swipes right into it, and really nowhere to go for the 1 of Michael Sheffield. And I think he did a good job of, oh, no, he didn't, unfortunately. Just couldn't get that thing stopped from hitting that inside wall. But multiple cars involved here. But I tell you what, this puts us right in the window where I thought they were going to pit, Brandon.
Yeah, I was just thinking at the timing of that caution, right at 99 to 100. So no green flag stops, unfortunately. Those are always fun to see. Adds a fun little element. But we weren't able to catch it on the broadcast, but I went back and looked. And that started with the 55 of Adam Buzzio and Andrew Little. Adam went into the corner just a little bit low, and it looked like Andrew checked up, just lifted a little bit earlier than I guess Adam was either wanting to with the way he's running the corner, or more than he expected, and just a little bit of a tap at the left rear, and got him sideways. Also got to point out, Ryan Bean Moses that wreck right between Adam and Andrew, and no damage for the 25. So
wow,
great job for Ryan Bean there to get through that unscathed.
Man, what a crazy incident there. Looks like Dylan Reed will win the race off pit road on Cody McCauley, and congrats to him as these guys come down pit road for the final time tonight, because that's their last set of tires there, Brandon. And I'm wondering here, looking at these drivers out here that stayed out, I believe Harold Watkins is the only driver that is on the lead lap to stay out there. So Harold Watkins staying out here. My question, I know he needs to pit personally because he needs to get fuel just in case it goes to the end. But my thing is, if you pitted here and then didn't take tires, and we're banking on maybe a caution happening in these final 30, that could be a winning move personally.
Well, my thought would be absolutely come in here if you're trying to play some cheeky strategy. Fill up on fuel. You're not going to feel that great on the old tires, but hope something happens because we're down to the line here. 33 laps is going to tick by very quickly. There's a lot of opportunity now with this restart for something to happen. Come in, take your tires then, and not only will you be lighter on fuel, which will help the loose condition on the fresh tires, so you'll be able to push a lot harder. But you're going to have the advantage of fresh tires when nobody else does.
Wow. That's, man. Have to see how it all shakes out, but I definitely think that could have been a call, but you're definitely risking a lot if it goes green to the end.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the game you play with the tire limits like this, trying to play that strategy to get the freshest tires possible over your competition. Sometimes you take a gamble like that and it just doesn't work out. There's no caution that you absolutely need. I've been on the receiving end of it. It's kind of frustrating, but yeah, it's just the game you play, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's one of those things, man. You never know what's going to happen in racing. You just gotta go with your gut. Sometimes your gut leads you to wrong places, and sometimes it leads you to some good places. So we'll see here. He's going to stay out and try his hand here at maybe a caution coming out, and he gets those new tires. The only thing I worry about is how much you gotta drive through, and it seems like he's the only driver to do this strategy. So he's going to have to be driving through the whole field pretty much.
My other concern right now is it's not something we've had to do yet in this race, but he's going to be restarting in control of the field on old tires. I'm wondering how much wheel spin he's going to get on those older tires. If he gets wheel spin here and it doesn't go the right way with it, he could end up collecting the entire front of the field.
Oof. Big oof is what I'm gonna say if that happens. So you never know. We'll have 30 to go when we take the green flag. 30 laps to decide who's gonna win tonight's race. And I tell you what, if I can tell you from that battle we just had with Reed and McCauley, it's gonna come down to the wire here, as the pace cars are gonna look to take the hard left turn down here for possibly the last time tonight. Harold Watkins definitely hoping not. As the pace car pulls off, Harold Watkins going to lead us back to the green flag here as he takes off from the outside lane, gets rolling. Looks like not the greatest restart, but Dylan Reed's going to have the bottom lane. Curtis Preston going through the middle, 3 wide up front here for the lead as they go down the 1 and 2. Can Curtis Preston stay on that quarter panel of Cody McCauley? That's going to be the key as Cody McCauley goes to the inside of Dylan Reed here. But here comes Curtis Preston with the push down the back straightaway.
He's pulling the Dylan Reed strategy here, saying, "Okay, guys, go ahead and battle. As soon as that battle's over, I'm going to pounce on you guys and see what I can do." But Cody McCauley back to the lead here.
What a move to put himself in this position. Cody McCauley working the bottom lane, trying to get past Dylan Reed here as he comes off of 2. He will make the move, but look at GT Irizarry back to 4th here as he's past the 88 of Trevor Massetti as he has teammates first Preston in sights. But I tell you what, from the all to the back, they're wrecking. Oh no, the 4 of Brock Potter goes around here as the Orange Nissan Central caution is going to come out. And I tell you what, Craig Burns, multiple cars there involved in this one. The 93 of Dustin Stallings, Kevin Chiadrasic. We'll have to go back here and check it out. Matthew Rush got a hard hit out of that. A lot of drivers hurt in that right there, as even Chad Biesinger is. We'll go back on the Freaky Fast replay here, see exactly what happened. It all happened ahead of here of Craig Burns. You can see him trying to get checked up. There's the 4 of Brock Potter just trying to get to the inside, and that's going to clip the right rear. It's going to send him up the racetrack hard into the wall. Multiple cars colliding into this 12, bringing out our 5th caution of the evening, brought to you by Nissan Central.
Now, I don't know if you noticed, Zach, but who made it around the outside of that wreck happened just in front of him? The 22 of Harold Watkins.
Yeah, man.
That was a Code Brown moment. His strategy almost bit him hard. I was watching him on the scoring here, just how quickly he was falling back. Was just about to bring attention to it when that caution happened here. This helps him a little bit. Guys are going to have to come in to get damage. He's going to gain a couple extra positions when he pits for his tires here, but unfortunately, there's not enough laps on the tires of everyone else for this to really pay off too much.
Yeah, he stayed out.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's. I think he's. You know, it might not be a bad call because we might get a rash of cautions here in this final 30 laps.
And that indeed could be the case. You know, guys, the more cautions happen, the more everybody gets stacked back up, and the closer to the end it gets, the more ready, you know, the urgency's there. And if you can just avoid it, there's a potential for a lot of guys to get taken out, and those are going to be positions that he's not going to have to fight for when he pits. So I'm going to be paying very close attention to you know, where the 22 ends up at the end of this race.
Oof. Yeah, it's like I said, it could be a big oof or a big hooray at the end of all of this because it's, you know, it's what you gotta. I don't know. I'm just trying to think from his position. You know, he's already made his bet. That's what I think he's going to stay out here, and he's going to try to get as big an advantage as possible because I feel like if he comes in now, he just gave up every bit of track position he had. But I think he was running near the top 15. You know, they kind of gave up every bit of track position, and getting back to where he was at was going to be tough. I felt like that would be a tough, you know, thing for him to do is get back to the position he was. So now he's trying to, I think, have as big of an advantage as possible to make sure at least he gains something back.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he said he met his bid and laid in it. I'm thinking more of he's loaded the gun. He's just got to figure out the right time to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah.
Because if he waits too late, then he just doesn't have the time to make use of the tires. But if he goes too early, then the difference on tires is not going to be that much, and the benefit's not going to be there. And this is the hectic part of calling these types of strategies. You know, just betting that this is not going to be the last caution, when this could be the only caution, and it's, you know, the saving grace throwing out that lifeline to him saying, hey, here's your chance, take your tires now. But we'll have to see, man. I'm thinking this isn't going to be the last caution, just by how intense this race has been so far, especially with this few laps left. But we'll have to see.
Yes, we will. As I believe this time by, we should get the 1 tick green, and we will have another restart here after our 5th caution of the evening with Cody McCauley leading, getting that lead from Dylan Reed. And I think the more cautions we have, personally, the better it plays out for McCauley. I think McCauley can get out here, get to the lead, and hold on to the lead if we have, you know, less than 30 laps, which we're going to now. So I think it's going to be hard to get back by McCauley here.
And, you know, I think you're right. We talked about the short run speed that Cody McCauley always seems to have, and, you know, having this few laps to go to the end on essentially fresh tires doesn't bode well for Dylan Reed. But Dylan Reed's been able to hang in there very well, and if I'm Cody McCauley, I've got to be kind of nervous knowing the move that Dylan Reed was able to pull on me earlier in the race, and just kind of watching out for that and trying to stretch this lead as absolutely far as possible to make sure that's not even possible.
Well, it's all come down to this, Brandon. This is where everybody tunes in. This is what we all enjoy to see here. This is what it comes down to, the very end stages of these races. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's been a pleasure tonight here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We think we've had a fantastic show for racing here. That's for all you fans out there. So please out there, let us know in the chats who you got, who you're rooting for, who you need to watch out for at the very end. And hopefully you enjoy these final 25 laps here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway as the pace car is going to look to take the left-hand turn off. Cody McCauley takes off. Like I said earlier, he was shot out of the can, didn't let that pace car wait, and he is gone with the lead, with Dylan Reed clearing the next row. You got side by side with Curtis Preston and GT Rosari, the teammates, for that 3rd position.
Well, GT is going to lose that battle for the third position, able to fall in line here in front of the 88 and Trevor Massetti. But now, Cody McCauley's got to be hoping that Curtis Preston and Dylan Reed get battling side by side and allow him to pull away.
Trying to pull away here. Get away from this field, but I tell you what, that front four, they are all on top of each other as we're riding on board with the 5th place man of Trevor Massetti, looking at all this battling going on side by side for lead, side by side for second. It is transpiring here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway with 23 to go.
It looked like Dylan Reed had a little wiggle in 1 and 2 that time, but a great run. Still looking at the inside now of his teammate. He knows he can run the bottom. I think if I'm Dylan, I'm trying to force my teammate to run somewhere he's not going to be comfortable running. If you notice he's been having problems so far running down there, try to force a mistake where he has to check up to, it's dangerous because if he makes a mistake, he could collect you, but try to force that mistake and gain some ground here as he clears him out of 2. Pupper in the background there, rooting on the race as well.
Yeah, he was excited. He said, "Whoa, man, they were going at it." I got him calmed down now. He's chilling out, so he's gonna sit here back and enjoy it with us. Always look at GT or Zari going to the bottom lane, trying to make it work, but look at Cody McCauley, the run through the middle, getting to the outside of Dylan Reed here. Great racing going on here with 20 laps to go.
Reed had a shot to close the door, but I imagine he's being a bit nicer to his teammate than he normally would to anybody else. A little wiggle, stepping up the track a little bit. That's going to allow Cody McCauley to get a great run out of the corner here as we come across the start-finish line. And Reed still got that favorable position on the inside that he likes to run in 1 and 2, that he feels like he has the advantage.
Well, he's going to have to use that advantage to his best as we got 20 laps to go. He's side by side for the lead. GT Azari, Curtis Preston, and I tell you what, Trevor Massetti, these top 5 are going at it here as they're going to catch lap traffic through 3 and 4, passing by Kevin Zabel, doing that 17 side by side off of 4 here as we come into 19 to go with Cody McCauley leading.
And GT closed right up on the back bumper of these two as they're battling side by side. Man, if he comes back and wins this race somehow, oh man, that's going to be a really popular win and one heck of a drive.
This drive by GT Azari could be one of the memorable ones throughout this season here. Let's see if he can make the most of this run here as he is nearing the top 2 as they are racing side by side. I think, we talked about Curtis Preston and Cody McCauley running there side by side for so long. I think GT's licking his chops here in this position.
He's pulling off kind of that late apex and just letting them battle right here. And I gotta say, it's kind of funny considering the scheme that GT is running right now. Considering Harvick is pretty well known for those where did he come from finishes.
Oh, yeah. I tell you, the only thing that he's missing from Harvick is qualifying on pole. He's going to go, I thought he was going to go 3 wide.
Psych him out.
He made them think. He definitely made them think. His teammate Curtis Preston almost get to the outside. Here he comes to the bottom. Yeah, he went to make that 3 wide move, and he had a big wiggle there in 1 and 2. That let Curtis Preston get side by side. And Curtis says, "Don't forget, I'm last season's Cup Series champion."
I think if I was GT in that position, I would have feinted that 3 wide move a little bit longer. Get him out of line. Get Dylan Reed up the track here. Force Cody McCauley to have to lift to avoid potential contact and pounce.
We'll have to see with 16 to go here. Great racing, side-by-side action all night long up here up front. I think that's the story of tonight is the side-by-side racing we've seen for the lead with 2 lanes being able to work the way they do.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. This is, as sim racers, sometimes we don't quite have that, multi-group racing that we want at the track. We feel like it'll really make it a lot of fun to do, and then you just get these just amazing races where you can run really anywhere and just be as competitive as ever. And we just kind of yearn for this type of stuff. And these guys are making the best of it right now.
Looking here on board the 112. Look, he gets to the outside cabin rough here, back by the 2 Zach Stringthal He's going to put himself up to 7th. So great run all night here, keeping himself in the top 10 battle all throughout this race. Even Bob Fitzpatrick behind this here in that 3. He's 33rd to 10th.
You know, and talking about capping her up, I think that might have been what your dog was warning you about, saying, hey, look out for him.
Yeah, he knew. He knew. And look at Ryan Bean even working his way back in. He had a few moments early in this race. He's back up to the 8th position in that 25. Great racing here to go with 13 laps. And I tell you what, it's still side by side directly up front, and side by side for this 3rd position. His teammates get into it. GT has already sent up the racetrack from teammate Curtis Preston. It's going to hurt Preston the most, as I tell you what, that could have been a wreck.
Yeah, and I noticed it coming out of 4 last time by Curtis Preston was just really, really loose, allowed GT to get side by side and could not quite hang on to that bottom line here. And I look just up ahead of the leaders. We got a pack of 3-lap cars that they're going to be running in on. This could play a huge factor.
Oh, man. This is going to get wild here with 12 to go. And like you said, there's a pack of 3 cars directly ahead of these leaders here that they're going to need to sort out very quickly if they want to put themselves in position to win this race. Who's going to be able to do it? Dylan Reed's going to clear here in 3 and 4 and finally make that pass with 11 to go here. Cody McCauley going to be directly to the rear bumper as they catch this lap traffic going down into 1. What are they going to do? I tell you what, the Michael Martino going up high here, letting go. And that Kool-Aid machine going to get by him as they exit off at 2. Michael Martino a little bit into the wall. That's definitely going to not help some of these cars. GT coming back into the
Oh, no, they're wrecking.
Oh, they're wrecking behind this.
Yellow flag is out.
Oh,
no. Oh, Fitzpatrick.
Big moment there. I think Michael Martino bouncing off the wall. I tell you what, Bob Fitzpatrick, feel for that guy. Had a great race going. So did Zach Schrittenthal. A lot of great races there. Up in smoke here, as you'll see on the Freaking Fast replay. It looks like the Kool-Aid machine getting into the outside wall. And then from here, cars just trying to scatter and get away. Oh, back into the wall. Here comes Schrittenthal up the inside and all into him. Bob Fitzpatrick nowhere to go, right to the rear end of the 75. And I tell you what, that is unfortunate to see here in the final few laps of this race.
Yeah, that looked to me, it's just a process of trying to do the right thing the wrong way. Michael Martino, he was trying so hard to give the leaders as much room as possible and caught the wall. And unfortunately, you know, the way that the car reacts when you hit the wall and pull back off of it, it's really hard to get back under control. It feels like the back end's just kind of disconnected from the rest of the car a lot of times.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, just, trying to stay out of the way there and in that wall, and then it's easy to bounce off the wall and then back into the wall, trying to get away from the drivers. And from there, it's unfortunate. And just, in a big pack of cars too, that's the problem. There was so many cars there that it was just hard for everybody to dodge. And it's coming down to the very end here, almost the final 10 laps, so you're not going to lift. Yeah, you're trying to get everything you possibly can, but yeah, it's just unfortunate for a few guys, but we'll see.
Well, Hunter Whitaker out there on Facebook rooting on Dustin Stallings. Sitting 13th right now, down 3 spots, but still got plenty of time to make some bold moves here on this restart. Pick up a lot of positions, crack himself into the top 10.
Well, let's see if he can do it. As we got coming to 5 to go here tonight. I think that's about what it'll be when we get the green, and that's where it gets interesting. I tell you what, now guess who's gonna take tires this time, Brandon? Harold Watkins.
So, but I think that's just a little bit too late. I don't think there's a lot of time. If the 22 is able to get a top 10 out of this, that would be a fantastic drive, having to make up those 14 positions.
Well, I tell you, he's gonna be a man on a mission, that's for sure. I want to watch how that plays out for him. He's gonna have fresh ones.
5 laps sooner, but man, I don't know. I don't know who to think is gonna win this race. Harold Watkins. If something happens at the front, and they get, green, white, checkers, and he's able to just drive through because we saw how powerful new tires are on old on a restart. He got swamped when he stayed on his older tires. Granted, these tires aren't going to be as old, but he's still going to have a severe advantage. And if something happens up at the front and we get another couple cautions, green, white, checkers, he could make up a lot of positions in those restarts and put himself in position for that final 2 laps to make something happen.
You never know. And I love this with Travis Everett out there. He says the quote, the good old Jim Ross, it's going to be a slobber knocker.
Hopefully nobody gets broken in half.
Yeah, true. Very true. Don't want to see that. But man, it's been a wild night through and through, man. I tell you what, the Las Vegas Motor Speedway has put on a show. So remember to go check out the sponsors here tonight. Also, Warren Nissan Central, Sheffield Graphics, and ButtKicker, as they help put on this awesome show here at Freaky Fast. And man, I tell you what, also go check out our merch store. I think we got some of those links down in the description, while we're sitting here browsing through this caution, as lights will go off this time, and we'll be coming to 6 to go when we take the green flag. But yeah, definitely go check out our merch store. See what you got down there, because tell you what, you can get everything from there, from a pillow to a shower curtain or bed sheets. I mean, there's some interesting Freaky Fast stuff out there, let me tell you.
Tell you what, Zach, we need to get stuff with our faces on it, so you can get a shower curtain with Zach and I's face on it. Freaky Fast right in the middle there. That's not a creepy thought.
That is pretty creepy. But we'll Robert said nope, that's not happening, guys. He overruled that one. But we got a question: how's the 22 doing? And that's Harold Watkins in a 22. At the moment, 23rd. But the big thing for Harold Watkins is he's the only driver with fresh tires at the moment. So Harold Watkins should be moving up the leaderboard here with these final 6 laps, and if he can stay out of trouble.
Yeah, barring any incidents, the 22, he can make quite a lot of progress here. It's just a matter of if they get cautions and how they fall for him.
Ooh, and we have Brock also, I guess. Brock Potter. And Kip Easley. So multiple cars here on new tires. We'll have to see here as the pace car is going to take that left-hand turn. Dylan Reed's going to take off as the pace car takes off itself. And we're going to go back green flag racing as Dylan Reed's going to lead us here with 6 to go, headed down to turn 1. Dylan Reed's going to want to see Curtis Preston and Cody McCauley get to racing, because it's going to be very tough to hold off these drivers.
DT making a big move here to the inside of his teammate Curtis Preston here and trying to secure the 3rd place position and get to work on Cody McCauley. He doesn't have a lot of time left.
Riding on board with Curtis Preston. Great battle between him and teammate GT Irizarry as they race off of 4. Looks like GT's going to get nearly clear of his teammate here, heading down to 1. We'll see if they can get that all figured out here with 5 to go here tonight. Cody McCauley closing in on that lead with Dylan Reed washing a little bit off the bottom.
Well, GT in 3rd position tried to throw the block off the corner on his teammate. Didn't quite get there, but still going to have the inside lane here going through 3 and 4. Big wiggle out of Curtis Preston. That car is loose. Oh, and there's contact behind him with Kevin Ruff.
Contact. Kevin Ruff coming into the picture, 112 to 88. And the 34 here battling all for position. This is getting wild with 4 to go as Dylan Reed still hanging on to the lead out here with a 2-car length gap out front.
And James Corcoran in that 38 did not have to check up for everything going up ahead of him. Got a huge run here, and he's breaking into the top 10 here, looking to pass Kevin Ruff.
Yeah, newcomer from the ARCA series, James Corcoran's breaking into the top 10 here, trying to get up even farther in that 38 as we come to 3 to go here. Dylan Reed still out front with a 1.5 car length lead to a 10 car length lead for Cody McCauley over GT in the 3rd spot.
Well, if anything, it may not be a win for GT, but man, it might as well be to come home with it looking like a top 3 right now after starting so far back in the field. It's an amazing job so far, but man, they're still battling all over the place.
Coming out of 4 this time. Dylan Reed taking the 2 to go as he heads down to turn 1. Only a car length of a gap separating him and 2nd place Cody McCauley. They elect to run 2 different lines here. It's been working that way the whole time. He's right on board with John Ouellette trying to work, or Ouellette there trying to work the bottom lane here directly behind Ryan Bean and that number 112 of Kevin Ruff. But I tell you what, 1 car length of a lead here as we coming out of the final turn, the penultimate corner here. White flag in the air, brought to you by Sheffield Graphics. One final time for Dylan Reed. Can he go 2 wins in the first 4 races? We'll have to see as he heads down to turn 1. 1 car length lead over Cody McCauley. Can McCauley get the run off of 2 he needs? He slides up the racetrack a little bit, loses back to 2 car lengths as they head to 3 and 4 for the final time tonight. Dylan Reed looking to bring home that second victory of this season here at the RSR Cup Series. Can he do it as they come out of 4? Dylan Reed is going to win here tonight at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Congrats to Dylan Reed on the victory.
And Dylan Reed pulling off the victory here. Cody McCauley with a strong contention there for the lead and the win. And GT bringing it home in 3rd position, followed by Curtis Preston and Trevor Massetti.
What a race. What a race. Gotta say, what a race here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Shout out to the Evolution Racing Leagues and the RSR Cup Series for putting on this show here. As Dylan Reed's going to do a little drifting here as he's going to bring it down here and celebrate with a few burnouts here to get this victory here tonight in the RSR Cup Series. He's going to burn them down in that 31. Congrats to him on that victory as Cody McCauley bringing home the 2nd place position. GT Azari 3rd, Curtis Preston 4th, and Trevor Massetti in the 5th position. Great race overall all night tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back in 1 second with our top 3 finishers. All right, we are back here with our top 3 finishers of tonight's RSR Cup Series at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. First driver we got up is GT Irizarry in that 14 machine. Started in the 26th position, able to drive his way all the way to 3rd and get his 2nd top 5 of this early season here. So let's see what his thoughts are on the Las Vegas Motor Speedway here tonight in the 14 machine from GT. Hey, GT, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, brother. How are you?
Doing great, man. I tell you what a fantastic race we've seen tonight, man. It was side-by-side racing all over this place. And, I mean, just a testament of how great the racing was out here tonight. You drove from the 26th position, man, to 3rd. So, you know, I know you probably would have wanted to qualify a little better, man, but I tell you what, that's a great drive nonetheless. So how was the racing out here at Las Vegas tonight?
It was good. I'm pretty sure it was pretty exciting to watch too. I can't wait to watch this tomorrow while I'm at work. But it was cool. I mean, we ended up having a really good car. You know, especially I mean the long run, that first run. I mean, we were just picking them off, and you know, it's funny. I mirrored exactly what we did last week, if I'm not mistaken. Started in the 20s and got up to P11 after the stage 1, and then P6 at stage 2. The only thing I just didn't finish 2nd. I finished 3rd, but I'm not going to complain too much about that.
Oh, no, for sure. Definitely a great night overall for you, man. Definitely driving from that 26th position to 3rd. You know, speaking of driving there all the way, you know, how tough is it to do that? I mean, we know qualifying makes it easier, but how tough does it make it on you to have to, you know, use all that time to get to the front?
Got to be patient, but you know, I am better at following people and figuring out, you know, where I'm a little bit quicker versus being up there in the front. You know, I guess I mean, I figure you guys have broadcast enough to kind of figure that out. I mean, I normally start putting it on them later in the run on most of your 1.5 mile tracks. You know, I figured out something in through 1 and 2. I mean, it's real bumpy, and that upsets the car and wants to make it kind of kick out. but then it's kind of one of those fields where it feels like it wants to kick out a lot of times, but really if you just kind of ignore it and just kind of stay in the gas, it straightens itself out and keeps going. But it's hard to do that. But I realized that there's like 2 bumps that you hit in 1 and 2, and after the second bump, once I felt the car hit the second bump, that's when I started to get back into the gas, and it was a lot smoother, throttled down in order to get the run coming off the turn. But I really enjoyed it, man. I hope we put on a good show for you boys.
Oh, you guys definitely did. That's for sure, man. We had a great time here. We had plenty of action to talk about, probably too much. So we probably missed a good bit of what really happened out there. But, man, I tell you what, we got to watch that 14 machine drive up through the field here tonight again and get yourself in a great position. So congrats on that, buddy. Anybody want to send a shout out to before we let you go and get ready for next week?
Well, first off, consistency is a thing. You don't always have to get the W's, but you just got to be there at the end. And I really think that with this league and the competition we got in the Cup Series, I'll tell you first off, I think you're going to have a top 5 finish just about every week in order to really consider yourself a championship contender this season. There's a lot of stout competition out there. So, but hey, I want to thank you boys for being up in the booth. As always, it's a pleasure having you. You guys do a great job of doing it. I want to thank Ryan, Scott, and Sheffield for everything they do on and off the track. They do a lot behind closed doors that, while all of us get to do other things, they're trying to keep this ship a rolling, and they're doing an excellent job of doing it. It's an honor to race with these boys over here at Evolution Racing. So that's about it. Oh, I got to say thanks to my teammates too, man, because, Curtis and I, we were door to door there for a while, and luckily we know how to race each other, but we knew, hey, if we wreck, whatever, it is what it is. We'll come out next week and try and get them, but appreciate it, guys.
All right, GT. Thanks, man, and congrats on Thursday night, and we'll catch you next week.
Well, guys.
All right, that was GT Irizarry there in the 14 machine, bringing home that 3rd place position. Now we'll move on to our points leader, Cody McCauley, in here tonight. Qualified in the 2nd position, was able to bring it home in 2nd after winning stage number 1. Let's see what his thoughts are on coming up just a little bit short. Hey, Cody, it's Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, buddy. Well, another great race for yourself, man. Came in here leading the points tonight. Started in that 2nd position, was able to win stage 1 there, looking very strong there. And then stage 2, it kind of heated up there between you and Dylan Reed. And from there on that, man, it was you guys just battling side by side throughout this whole entire race. Just kind of explain from the driver's seat how the racing was out there, because, man, it was a blast to watch from up here.
Racing was a lot of fun. As the track took rubber, it got a lot better. It got a little easier to handle the cars, and me and Dylan were just having a good time, man, racing the crap out of each other. We figured if we run side by side long enough, can't nobody pass us. So it was working out well there. The caution kind of screwed us, and that last run, we just, the short end of the stick on dirty air, I could not get the nose to turn center. But really proud of Dylan. He did a great job tonight. That was an awesome run by him. All the guys on Elite Racing Group, we had a really good night. John was strong. He kind of faded. I think Alex and Kevin got caught up in some mess in the back, but part of racing, just, overall a great night. Had a lot of fun. Look forward to next week now.
Yeah, definitely. No, on to next week, with Phoenix, you're leading the points right now, Cody, so you're looking strong already, man. But we know just from, the truck series, watching you there, you're very strong on the short track. So you think you can bring some of that short track prowess to the Phoenix Raceway?
Yeah, for sure. I actually haven't run the Cup cars at the new Phoenix configuration they've got set up. I don't know how much drafting's involved, but if it's anything like Richmond, I got a pretty good feeling about it.
Well, that's for sure, man. If it's anything like Richmond, these guys are going to have a tough night. That's for sure. But we'll have to see how that all plays out for you next week, man. Anybody want to send a shout out to before we let you go?
For sure, man. Delta 9 back on board for the Cup Series, doing them proud tonight. We're having some awesome runs this season. They are tickled, showing off some great racing. 6-2 Designs, hit us up on Facebook, guys. We'll hook you up with an awesome paint scheme. We got quite a few 6-2 Design paint schemes in the field. Check them out. Really good group of guys. All the guys over at Elite Racing Group, Hutch Sport Racing, Josh, Kale, Joe, they all sat up on the box, helped us out tonight. Big shout out to them. All the guys on the team prepping us for this week. All my other teammates. You guys putting this broadcast on. This is a phenomenal production. Love going back and watching these races. I know sponsors love checking this stuff out. Big shout out to Ryan Ezel for putting this whole gig together. Man, he runs an awesome show.
All right, Cody, man. Well, congrats on second here tonight, man, and we will catch you next week, bud.
Thanks, bud.
You having a great night, man. All right, that was Cody McCauley, your second place finisher here tonight. What another great race for him as he came here in the points lead. But teammate Dylan Reed was able to come home with his second victory of the season through our first 4 rounds. So this guy is stacking up, the first driver to stack up multiple wins. I'll have to see what he thinks about that. Hey, Dylan, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, buddy, another great showing again for yourself in this 131 here tonight. You're able to drive through, start near the mid of the top 10 there in that 5th position, and was able to drive pretty much up to the front there in stage number 2. And you said you figured something out. So, describe to us, what you figured out really through this race, because you definitely seemed to pick it up there after stage 2.
There's a really big bump right where you want to enter the corner in turn 1. And if you enter above it, you'll be fine. You can kind of ride that high lane all the way around. I didn't like the high lane too much. But if you entered lower than that bump, you could just hook the bottom in turn 1. But if you hit it, which is right where you want to enter the corner, your whole corner just gets thrown off and you get super loose.
Yeah, that's great information. I mean, we were talking about it. Me and Kali up here were discussing the high line versus the bottom line, and I've just the races I've watched, the person who can master that bottom line, and like you said, figure it out, get around the bumps the way you need to there to make it work, just seems to always work for that person, because they can actually make the passes down low and not have to, rely on that outside to get to somebody's outside, which is a lot tougher. But man, I tell you what, you were fantastic there from the second half on to the end of this race. Coming down to the end there, you and Cody McCauley all night, just after that second stage, it was just a dogfight between you two. Did you ever really worry about burning your stuff up there? Because you guys raced side by side for so long.
No, the beauty of running the bottom here is that you don't burn any of your tires up. If you can just keep that right rear underneath you, the right front's you're not gonna get tight running the bottom at all. So I was just cruising on the bottom, honestly, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, it definitely showed. It was a lot of fun for us to commentate up here. It was just great side-by-side racing. We're 4 starts into the season. You already got 2 wins here at Daytona, Las Vegas. Now we head to Phoenix next week. How do you feel about the short track package in the Cup cars?
Phoenix is one of my best tracks on the sim, so I'm very excited to go to Phoenix. I have lots of good memories there and all the official races that I've done. So I'm excited to get there and turn some laps. Hopefully it's a good setup.
Awesome. That's great to hear. It's definitely something I don't think the rest of the field possibly wants to hear if you already have 2 wins. But I tell you what, it'll be fun to watch next week at Phoenix to see if you can go back-to-back and get that 3rd victory, man. But congrats on the victory tonight, first of all. And anybody want to send a shout to before we let you go and celebrate this thing?
As always, thanks to my wife for letting me race as much as I do. Thanks to Chris Harvey for spotting me. He does a good job up there. He's the TJ Majors of spotters for me. And obviously you guys for broadcasting it, and for Ryan and Sheffield for hosting this league. It's a lot of fun. It's a hidden gem. Didn't know anything about it until recently, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, trust me, it's definitely a hidden gem, man. That's for sure. This is a great place to be, and we're proud to have you in it too, man. So thank you for coming out here, race putting on a show, Dylan. Congrats on the victory, and we'll catch you next week, man.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, that was your race winner there in the 131 of Dylan Reed, bringing home that Rowdy Energy car in the first spot. So a great race tonight, man. I got a smile on my face just from really the racing we got to experience here with everybody. So thank you all for tuning in. But now we'll go ahead and pull up our race results and show you where your favorite drivers did after the end of these 133 laps, grueling 133 laps, I'm going to say, at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway with a handful of a car. There it is. Race results are up. Dylan Reed bringing home that victory. Second's going to go to Cody McCauley. Third is GT Irizarry after driving from 26th to third. Fourth is going to go to Curtis Preston. Fifth is Trevor Massetti in that position. Sixth is going to go to Nolan Potter. Seventh is James Courtrone. Eighth is Ryan Bean. The ninth place position will go to Kevin Ruff. Rounding out our top 10 will be John Wellett. Followed by that in the 11th position will be Kevin Giadersis. 12th is going to go to Adam Buzzio. 13th is David Hall. 14th, Dustin Stallings. 15th is Rusty Modesty. 16th, Casey Kuntz. 17th, Anthony Younes. 18th, Harold Watkins. 19th is Alex Rudolph. 20th, Ryan Ezel. 21st, Matt Upbrook filling in for Travis Everett here tonight. Marc-Andre Thibodeau will come home in the 22nd position. 23rd is going to be Kevin Sabilla. 24th is Kip Easley in the 24 car. 25th is going to be the pole setter Andrew Little, not having the greatest night after sitting on the pole. 26th is going to go to Brock Potter in the 4. 27th is Kevin Zabladil, first car, 1 lap down. 28th is going to go to Scott Taylor. 29th position will be Matthew Rush. 30th is Nathan Campbell. 31st, Bob Fitzpatrick at the running in the top 10 near the end. 32nd is going to go to Zach Schrittenthal. 33rd, Daniel Gonzalez. 34th, Michael Martino. 35th is Chad B. Singer. 36th, Craig A. Burns. 37th, Michael Sheffield. 38th, Junior Miller. 39th, Zach Samlin, the new ARCA driver. And 40th will go to Tony Ludi, rounding out your field tonight. And I don't have enough words to describe how awesome tonight's race was. It's one of those ones, it's definitely going to be memorable how racy the track was. Congrats to Dylan Reed on the win. But Brandon, if you got anything to add, man, go ahead and do it.
I don't know what to say, man. The race was just incredible. A lot of fun. It's exactly like it's the epitome of what everybody wants out of sim racing. It's the type of experience you dream to be a part of, and it doesn't happen quite often, but when it does, man, you remember it. Unfortunately, we didn't have a pole winner win this race tonight, but second place finished second, so close enough for me. Great race by everybody. Congrats to Dylan for the win, and I am excited to get to Phoenix and see how these guys can get around that harrowing track. It's going to be a blast.
Well, Phoenix should be fantastic. As always, here at the RSR Cup Series, we always have a pleasure at Freaky Fast. It's a big old family here, as we would say. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. As you are part of the Freaky Fast family, we always love you, and we always keep you in our thoughts because we're always trying to make it better for you. So thank you for tuning in. Remember to give a shout-out to the sponsors at Or Nissan Central. We also got Sheffield Graphics and ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Make sure to go check those out. Check out the Freaky Fast Facebook page for the giveaway we got going on for a ButtKicker LFE. And check out our merch store. So definitely want to go do that. But now we'll send it up to the boss man himself, Robert Moyer Jr., and see what he has to say to close out tonight's broadcast.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Great call and great action here with RSR Cup Series here with Evolution Racing League. These guys put on one whale of a show. We see what Phoenix, well, as we go to Phoenix, but Las Vegas can put on with these Cup cars, man. Just amazing side-by-side racing. So I like to say to everybody out there, if you enjoyed this content, don't mind helping us get to 2,000 followers on Facebook. We are 86% on our way there. So we much appreciate it if you hit that bell button on Facebook and give us a follow. I want to say to everybody out there, I've been watching the streams and just seeing what's going on the Facebook and YouTube side of things. We had a lot of shares and a lot of likes on tonight's video. So thank you very much. Like Zach said, you are part of the family here at Freaky Fast, and we do much appreciate it. And if you're on the YouTube side, we're trying to get to 800 subscribers, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like the video over there on YouTube. But, well, we're going to wind up everything here tonight with Brandon Cawley and Zach Hall and Robert A. Moyer up here in the booth from Las Vegas. We're going to pack our stuff up and get ready to head off to Underdog Racing League tomorrow at 8:35. We go live, so make sure if you have time, tune in and watch the action with them guys in their truck series. But until next week, God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.